You know, I should probably stop staring at the packaging tape I put on my phone because I cracked it and check that Twitter poll I put up about a week ago. It was a week ago, right? Either way, I can assume that most people voted for Super Mario because they all subscribe for Sonic and video game stuff, right? Wit. What's going on, my lovely muffins? It's Icy Angels 452 here, and apparently I don't know my target audience that well. A few weeks ago, days, months, I don't really know when you're getting this video, to be honest, I put up a poll asking which would you guys rather see, a video on the Super Mario Bros. Super Show or a video on Total Drama All-Stars. I was thinking, yeah, Sonic, Mario, yeah, video game stuff, and then there we go, we're talking about Total Drama now. Only 2 of you voted on the poll, but you know, they're gonna represent all 400 and however many of you there are right now. I don't really know, to be honest. Because who knows when you're getting this video. Now, I'll probably do a video on the Super Mario show, or Sonic X, or something eventually if my attention span is long enough to get through either of those shows. It's probably not. But who knows? Enough making promises I probably won't keep. Let's watch some
Total Drama All-Stars!
For those of you who don't know, and if you don't, I'm assuming you're just watching this because subscriber loyalty, so good for you. Total Drama is a show that was created in Canada and aired in 2007, starting with Total Drama Island. It's basically a cartoon reality TV show that has a bunch of different teenagers doing life-risking crap in order for a chance to win $1 million. Lots of drama and funny moments happen, and it's overall a pretty good show. Total Drama All-Stars takes the best 7 competitors from the first 3 seasons and the best 7 competitors from the 4th season, or the new cast. And, like usual, I have the unpopular opinion. Most Total Drama fans consider All-Stars to be where the series jumped the shark, and I can definitely see why. There are a few elements that were built up over multiple seasons that were just ruined in one episode. Plus, there's also the ending, which we'll get to eventually. But despite all of that, this is hands down my favorite season, or at least this part of Season 5. The mix of the original cast that I have so many memories with, and with the new cast that I quickly warmed up to is great. Of course, that's not to say that I won't be discussing the flaws the season has, since there's quite a few of them. But there are also positive elements as well, and who knows, maybe I can shine a light on some of the better things too. Anyway, let's get into more detail. The episode starts out with Chef, chef of the show, picking up Chris, our host, from jail. Chris has been in jail for the past year because in Season 4, he let Camp Wawanakwa get covered in radioactive material and threw a bunch of teenagers in there. He's an ass, and it's awesome. Despite our host attempting to replace Chef with a cashew, Chef hands him the contract for the newest season. One way too short theme song later, and we see Chris on the newly cleaned island of Camp Wawanakwa introducing our contestants. From last season, there's Mike with multiple personality disorder, Zoe, I guess? Lightning, the idiot who won only in America. I take great offense, by the way, Canada. Cameron, the brainy nerd who rightfully won Season 4. Sam, the gamer who somehow got a hot girlfriend before she was turned into a mutant monster by radioactive waste. Scott, who was a total ass in the last season and somehow got out of his bodysuit after being mauled by a shark. And Joe, who is a girl jock that's not as dumb as Lightning. Then, from the original cast, Courtney, who was a decent character in Season 1 and hasn't redeemed that since. Gwen, who may or may not have stole Courtney's boyfriend. Duncan, who is said boyfriend. Heather, whose hair has finally completely grown back since the first season. Lindsay, your typical dumb blonde with big tatas. Sierra, the crazy fangirl, and
Kidding! No way is that guy coming back again!
After a lot of complaining on the beach and Chris explaining some stuff, Chris separates the heroes and villains into the heroic hamsters and the villainous vultures. This is a problem for Gwen, since her stealing Duncan from Courtney in Season 3 somehow negates every good thing she's done. And yeah, even though I'm a huge Gwen fan, I have to say yes, she did break up Duncan and Courtney. Her whole claim is that he wasn't her boyfriend at the time, which is untrue. Sure, Duncan left the show, but he and Courtney never officially split. They've been building this up since Season 2 and, well, we'll talk more in detail about how it ends in a few episodes. Once the teams are decided, Joe points out how the hamsters have 7 players and the vultures only have 6, so Chris dumps the robot off on them. I wonder who that could be after the season 3 finale. Anyway, Chris explains the challenge. The teens have to jump off the cliff from season 1 into shark-infested water to find a key to the mansion. Then, another contestant must push the diver in a baby carriage from season 3 to the building to see if it even works. Oh yeah, and Scott is terrified of the sharks that mauled him last season. So, after confirming that Sierra is still crazy, we get to see that the villains don't want to work together at all. You'd think that after 4 seasons they would realize that their strength in alliances, but nope. They don't. A few seconds later, we see that things are still ugly between Courtney and Gwen, who somehow haven't evened anything out during the entire year between the season and the last season. And Duncan also still wants attention from Courtney. The contestants get to the beach and have to choose their carriage drivers. The villains choose Jo. Well, she makes up some crap about shopping carts, but same thing. Meanwhile, on the heroes team, Courtney makes Lindsay drive, which is terrible considering that if you were to choose any word describing Lindsay's athleticism, good would not be one of them. After the commercial break, Lightning and Courtney dive first, and we see one of the minor complaints for the show. Lindsay is way stupider than usual. Now, Lindsay has never been known for intelligence, but in the first couple of seasons she did have some competence, even if she was super naive. But not knowing how to push something? Seriously? Meanwhile, Jo and Lightning are establishing that they don't like each other, but since they're the strongest members of their team, they'll stick together until the teams merge. Gee, I wonder how long that will last. At the cliff, Gwen shoves Duncan in the water because Sierra's being a creep about the relationship, and the crazy fangirl jumps in after, picking a key that looks like, what are the odds? Cody. Now, Sierra's a character that's always sat on the edge for me, at least in season 3. Yeah, I found a lot of her stalker moments annoying, but there was still something about her determination to be with Cody that was admirable. Kind of like Amy and Sonic, but with less annoying fans. I knew I'd be able to stick a Son Amy joke in there somewhere. So the villains don't have the key, and this happens with the hamsters.
Aww, Cody, he's too small. Back we go.
I knew they'd be able to stick a dick joke in there somewhere. Next to jump off the cliff are Mike and Gwen because Mike and Zoe are adorable. And yeah, again, I know this is kind of an unpopular opinion, but I really like these two both as a couple and as characters. A lot of people claim that Zoe is a Mary Sue because she's athletic, pretty, nice to everyone, and that she has no flaws. And while the first 3 things are true, the last one, not so much. One of Zoe's major character traits from the season she debuted in was being extremely lonely and insecure about the little things because of it. And even as nice as she is, she didn't really make any friends outside of Cam and Mike in season 4. Even back home, her only friend was a goddamn hamster in her room. Mary Sues also have the tendency to be liked by everyone, which clearly isn't the case with her. Not to mention how her being gullible and naive can make her easy to take advantage of. As for Mike, he had a lot of the same problems Zoe did, being lonely, but for him, it was because of his multiple personalities, which made it hard for people to get to know him because he wasn't always him. I've heard a lot of complaints about Mike's portrayal of MPD being offensive, but I disagree. Yeah, a few things about the disorder are exaggerated, but that's the entire point of the show. Exaggerating stereotypes and satirizing elements of reality TV. And it's not like Mike was bashed on or portrayed in a negative light to make people with MPD seem bad. In fact, he was one of the more likable and relatable characters from the new cast. While quite a few of the contestants were extremely stuck-up or just plain annoying, Mike, Zoe, and Cameron were the ones that felt the most human. And with all the pairings that went to complete crap by the end of the show, it's nice to know that at least one of them that got the time to develop made it out alive. Anyway, let's get back to the actual show. Zoe uses the necklace Mike gave her to kick some shark ass so he and Gwen won't get eaten. After the two fail, Heather and Sam go, and Lindsay remembers that the show is hard. She forgets Tyler's name all the time, so I don't know why this would surprise me, but whatever. After Heather and Sam also get the wrong key, Zoe jumps in the water next while the vultures are desperately trying to throw Scott off the cliff, despite him being deathly afraid of Fang. While trying to pry him off, Lightning accidentally bumps the robot, which falls down the cliff and into the water. The sharks break it open, and lo and behold, Alejandro has been in there the whole time. I have a few problems with this. First of all, how the hell did Alejandro survive in that suit for over a year? If Chris was in jail, who was feeding him? Chef? How did Chef get the food in there without Alejandro ever breaking out? Second, how did his family not realize what happened? We even find out that he has an older brother, Jose. Did he not care? Did his entire family say F it and disown him after losing the million? And third, Sierra is the superfan, so how did she not know who was in the suit? Her entire claim to fame, other than being Cody's stalker, is that she's watched every Total Drama episode like 1,000,000 times. And there's no way she didn't go back and watch Total Drama World Tour after the finale to at least go back and find some Cody moments. And did Heather not at least question where her handsome jerk of an implied love interest went? None of this makes any sense.
Jalapeno? When did you get here?
Okay, I have to admit that was actually kind of funny. Anyway, Alejandro conveniently has the right key, allowing the vultures to win the first challenge. Over at the awards ceremony, before the hamsters vote someone off, Gwen attempts to apologize to Courtney over what happened between her and Duncan. This is going to be a recurring theme in the season, by the way, with some flowers that Courtney ends up being allergic to. Another recurring thing this season is that each night a contestant from the winning team has to spend the night on Boney Island for a chance to find the Statue of Immunity. Lightning volunteers and the hamsters vote for who they want gone, Lindsay voting for herself. In the end, when it comes down to Lindsay and Courtney, Lindsay gets the boot. Now, I've seen a lot of people debate over whether or not Lindsay voted herself off on accident or on purpose, which really doesn't make any sense considering she cheers when she's voted off, but it's Lindsay, so who knows. Our favorite blonde gets flushed down the big toilet. You guys do know that's just ocean water, right? And Chris ends the first episode. Speaking of ending the first episode. So there you have it, the first episode of Total Drama All-Stars. I know this isn't what I usually do, but 2 of you told me to do it, so I figured it'd be a good idea. And if you guys are interested, which maybe there is a few of you, I can make this into a series and go through each episode of the season. I mean, if there's almost 500 of you at the time I'm making this video, again, I don't know when it's going up, then there's gonna be a chance at least a few of you like the show, so can we get 5 likes? Oh, and by the way, there's almost 500 of you. Surprise! Now, I probably will do that Super Mario Bros. Show video thingy at some point, but who knows. Now it's time to shoehorn in some stuff about video games so people don't unsubscribe. Words I learned from video games: waggle, post-haste, and genocide. I don't learn much. Oh, and something I keep forgetting to mention, I have social media thingies that you need to go check out and follow me on. Yeah, I have a Facebook, which you can find in the description, but I'm going to put a picture of the Facebook logo here anyway. A Twitter, and what else can I plug in here? Oh, a Social Blade. I don't really do anything, but you can keep track of subs and views I get. Because that's cool, I guess. Anyway, thanks for watching the video. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will smell you later. I have Ned. Ned abandoned me.